Yeah.
Right? And we hear that media or society or social media only talks about the success points. There's very rarely anyone is talking about what it took to get there, right? What were the tough days to get there? And I think in itself, we start then only looking at those
And,
those milestones,
Those
those
milestones,
achievements,
yeah.
and think, why are we not successful there? Why are we not? And that is that noise and distraction when you are listening outward and not listening inward.
Yeah, very true, I think. And I'm going to come to that success failure bit also, for you.
Sure.
Before that, I would like to know your growing up years, right? How were you as a child? How were you in your teenage? I understand, I think you had also traveled abroad for your studies.
Sure.
And probably worked there. So,
Yeah.
like, run us through your childhood, then teenage, and, how were you as a kid? How were you to your parents, to your neighbors, etc.? Tell us something interesting.
No, I think, looking back, there can be, various phases of life that I can go back to. But नहीं यार story बहुत ही straightforward है. I try to, sum it up by saying, born in a Gujarati family in Bombay, businessman background. The ideal case was engineering करो, फिर MBA पढ़ने जाओ. But somewhere along, I think my life journey is probably pushing the envelope and breaking a lot of stereotypes.
बचपन में नॉटी थे, स्टूडियस थे, क्या थे? शक्ल से थोड़ा नॉटीनेस लगा.
स्टूडियस तो बिल्कुल नहीं था. I don't think मेरे को theory बहुत easily समझ में आती है. I think I was always very, very practical. I think practical learning was always more easier for me than theoretical learning. I won't say I was a outstanding student, nor was I a very, very bad student. I was mediocre. अगर concept grasp कर लिया ना, तो it was easy for me to excel in that avenue. And that probably started with just this curious nature. I don't think my childhood would be considered naughty or sober, but it was curious. I think it was always very driven by curiosity of the unknown. 6-7 साल की उम्र में वो टाइम पे हम हर घर में वो एक VCR होता था. What I remember right now in talking to you is I would on my own open up that VCR and want to figure out how the whole system works.
Rancho.
Right? I never, any new appliance that was brought at home, I would never touch the manual that came along. I had to figure it out myself.
Oh, wow.
Right? So it was always driven by curiosity. I think my mother will still say that, at a very young age, when she would drive, and of course, these were days when there was no Google Maps or directions, but I would always pick up on what road, what direction to take. Right? I would always be able to guide much easier. And so I think it was more to do with just being curious, just having this explorer in me. Right? I loved exploring things. And I think that's where the journey took me to study in the US. I spent a lot of years in the US while went to school in
This
Florida.
was when? Back in which year?
This is 2003, 2004.
Okay.
And
you were how old that time?
So I left Bombay when I was 18 and a half, 19.
Okay.
And I like to keep reminding my father that one of the things that I did make happen was I left literally with a one-way ticket that he bought me. Again, purely out of curiosity, taught myself a brand new domain. And I think broke into this world of.
So were you building the tech, or you were into finance basically?
No, we were pretty much powering products that a Google and Visa were piloting.
So what was your role in that basically? What were you doing?
So when I
because you were a fresher, right then?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So what was your role in
and
that?
I had no background in. I was not an engineer. No background in technology. When I broke in, I think I remember clearly, for me, Java was just coffee beans. I didn't know Java was a programming language, right? But again, that hunger for learning, that curiosity, self-taught myself. I've always been on the business side of things, winning projects, winning
Sales
pilots,
or
absolutely, business development.
finance.
But we were building products, right? We were building products and building products for big startups in the valley, like Intuit, doing their first digital lending app
Okay.
on a mobile phone.
Okay.
On alternative financing app for MSMEs. So we were powering a lot of this technology. We were the first ones to power technology for prepaid cards and gift cards and mobile wallets that a Visa would test on a Google campus and make it cashless.
Oh.
And again, I'm talking about all of this in 2006.
6, 7, yeah.
Right?
Very
This
early
was
days for all
very
these
early
stuff.
days.
Yeah.
It was still, so nascent, and we had to build a different app for every different mobile handset, was a different OS.
Yeah.
But that again created a very strong niche and a domain expertise in something that was emerging. And I really call it, most of the times I call it luck. You go with your gut and try to do something that has not been done, right? We were literally category builders. But as I was experiencing all of that, I also got my first experience of a setback. I got an experience of witnessing 2008
Yeah.
and that whole financial crash in the US and the Silicon Valley. I saw blood on the streets. And here we were a very small boutique tech shop, but we found a way to survive even
Okay.
that crash.
Okay.
Because of being able to be very niche, very focused in what we were doing. We had a domain strength, and we were able to, because we were working on a lot of emerging technologies, we found a way around it.
So the company survived that.
That company
whole-
survived.
Wonderful.
That company did get a decent exit to a large payments company called FIS in the US. And there again, I did something very, very surprising.
Just before you go ahead, so when you started this job, right? What was your first check? Do you remember? What is your
My
first
first
salary?
paycheck,
Yeah.
my first paycheck. So I certainly think it was something close to $30,000 US, $40,000 a
Per
year.
annum. Yeah. Okay.
Much less than what I was drawing at a large bank in Wells Fargo.
Fargo.
So I left that large corporate
In
life
pursuit of
to-
learning something new.
in pursuit of working in a smaller team, in working hands-on, in working at a startup, so to speak. And so I think, but that never felt like a risk, right? For me, a choice anytime given to work and build something ground up versus working in a more structured environment, I think that's never even a decision I need to take. That's never even in my realm of decision making.
It comes
Very
natural.
naturally, and for me to take those leap of faiths doesn't happen or doesn't take.